The other day I was talking to my cousin and said, come on over, we'll bomb around. And she said, Adele, it's bomb around, not bomb around. Have you been around people like this that just love to correct you, whether it's mispronunciation of a word, the wrong word, or maybe the facts weren't quite right, something really happened on Monday and not Tuesday? It's annoying as a coach mentor for high performers, I've had to sit through this with myself and my clients. What I've noticed with clients is when they're really upset about their significant other talking in a way they don't like, it's rarely about proper speech patterns. There's usually some other stuff simmering under the surface. And the person doing the compulsive correcting often feels like, well, they're just trying to help. Kind of like the other day I was out with a couple and they kept doing this to each other, interrupting the flow of the conversation to correct the other person. The wife was going on and saying about irregardless of something, and the husband jumped in and said, it's regardless, not irregardless. I was sitting there and I was just getting really uncomfortable. And I think there are three things going on. There are some people who have the idea that being right gives you a certain amount of power, and therefore everyone should be respecting, and you might validate them more for being right. It doesn't work. The second group are just people who are a little insecure. Enough said on that. And the third, smaller group, are people who they're kind of like sticklers for the facts and the truth. Like they are really obsessed that everything be conveyed correctly because there's an insecurity that if it's not right, something bad could happen. And they often feel like they're just helping. It doesn't usually work. I dated a guy once and he would say things like, Adele, this dog collar is broke. And I remember wanting to say, no, it's broken, not broke. And then I had to sit with myself and say, I understand what he's saying. It's actually kind of cute. We all understand what you're saying. So if this happens to you and someone is interrupting you all the time, you could pull them aside and say, hey, I don't know if you're aware you do this, but it interferes with the flow of the conversation, and it sometimes feels a little bit like a criticism, because it kind of is. Once you've done that, if they keep doing that, if it's out in public and I'm interrupted and corrected because I mispronounced a word, I might pause and smile. So if there's a noticeable pause in the conversation, I said thank you, and I'll pronounce it correctly and continue with my story, but it becomes obvious to everyone what's going on. Not a good look if you're interrupting people like that. Now, there are times when the absolute truth is important. I don't know if you're on the witness stand or something, but most social discourse doesn't demand that type of stickler, pedantic analysis. So share this with someone who might benefit, or maybe not, and follow for more on how to be with people.